Welcome everybody to Throwaways Pod. We're back. Sorry for the wait. We had a fun weekend at March Madness.
We've been busy.
And your boy wasn't feeling too hot yesterday.
We've been in the lab.
Yeah, that too. That too. We were not. I was not sick yesterday because of the Thursday in Vegas or weekend in Vegas and March Madness. But
I think there's a strong correlation.
maybe I was fine Monday.
It's a delayed burn. You know, I would say at least like a quarter of the people who like go to Vegas or go to a music festival. And I've been in this boat before. Like you pay the price, and sometimes you get out clean, but other times, and it's not just the hangover. It's like staying up, no sleep, constantly drinking, eating shitty food, like just all the bad things you do to your body.
You're outing us.
I mean, what else are you gonna do in Vegas? Like Vegas exists to stay up late and to drink and to gamble, and you're walking around the casino and inhaling people just chain smoking cigarettes and
Bad people.
We don't smoke, but like
Bad people too.
yeah, it's just a wonderland of filth and grime and amazing things.
Yeah.
Should we start there? Go through what we did on the Vegas trip before we get into some of the content?
I'm down. I somehow escaped without a hangover while we were there. I felt great both mornings. On limited sleep, the second one after Elenium for sure.
Yeah, I got 2 hours of sleep and like woke up fine and drove home. Like I don't know. I mean, I got a coffee in me, but I really didn't hit a wall until like maybe that night at like 10 after we'd been home a couple hours. But yeah, that day was just an epic day. Going like start in the morning.
Wait, okay, yeah. Let's get to Saturday or Friday in a second. Thursday we got there at what time? Like 11:30?
Like 11. We got checked into the hotel, and then we just went straight to the sports book.
Yes.
Signed up.
Started watching. Like the second we got there, Joe and I were waiting in line, and Furman hit that shot against Virginia, and I was just like, "Are you shitting?" Like we just walked in, and we were
watching that on our phone in the parking garage, waiting for you guys to check in.
Yeah, that's great. Got that done. Went to the sports book, and then we ended up getting lunch at that restaurant.
Oh yeah, the sports bar. Crushed some wings, some tuna nachos. Quick sidebar. I've had a lot of really good food in Vegas. I mean, and this trip wasn't really designed for that, but I didn't really have much good food this trip. Like it was all kind of just average.
It was never the goal, right?
Yeah.
Like we never I would have liked to. Like I think the last night before Elenium, you and Joe hadn't eaten because you did the Titanic thing, and I was just like, I'd be down to go sit down at a nice place. So
Joe and I almost went to Sushi Roku. We wanted to go get like nice sushi, and then instead we got like $4 street pizza.
And
which helped the wallet, but I mean, I'm used to like having at least one pretty solid meal per Vegas trip, and financially, like maybe that didn't make the most sense this time, but food wise, I was underwhelmed. Everything else, I think we nailed it.
What was our best meal? TopGolf?
No, I misordered a TopGolf. I should have got a salad. I don't know. I had
a fantastic breakfast burrito at TopGolf.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had a bite of it. It was all right. It was pretty good. It was way better than what I got. What else did we do?
We
on
watched basketball
Thursday
at lunch, and then we left. Holy shit!
I
we ended up
remember-
walking around the strip for a
Oh, we
long
went to the
time.
Knights game. We went to the Golden Knights
Went
game.
to the Golden-
T-Mobile Arena was really cool.
So we did do something.
That is an arena that it's so weird, like being a sports business student, and just the lens that your perception shifts to, especially seeing an arena for the first time. Like sure, when we walked into the concourse area, I mean the first thing I was blown away, and I was like, this place is perfect for fights. Like I would love to see a UFC fight at T-Mobile in Vegas. But then walking around the concourse, I was kind of underwhelmed by the options they had. Not a ton of activations out there. And back to the food point, like I thought they would have all of the popular like LA spots that eventually make their way to Vegas, or trendy places, or some sort of name brand locations within the arena. And I don't know if it was licensing or what the issue was, but there really wasn't. It was just like kind of standard like ballpark or like stadium
That's
food that was like really, really exceedingly average. So I don't know, like the concourse section was disappointing, but the actual like seating and playing surface and arena of T-Mobile was really cool.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like I think the game experience was awesome. Like, and that was like you watched. Like, first of all, it seems like it's one of those stadiums where there's not a bad seat in the house.
Yeah.
Like every single
Even
seat.
where we were sitting in like the third deck.
Yeah. And eventually, of course, we worked our way down to
What a strategy! Just, any Golden
Standing
Knights and NHL employee, please close your ears. But getting in for $30 standing room tickets and then ending in like the 12th row, first level was
great.
Was cool.
That was great. But I think the game experience and everything was awesome. Do you think how long have they been playing there? Because maybe that stuff takes time, like the activations and stuff. Because I was very underwhelmed by everything in the concourse.
I think T-Mobile opened around when the Knights started, so like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's weird then, because I agree with you. I was like really underwhelmed by all the other stuff.
And especially for somewhere in Vegas, like they could have had, I don't know, like crazy light up sculptures and stuff that leaned into like the Vegas nightlife. And like, I don't know, because I don't know if the NHL allows gambling, but it shocked me that there was no gambling tie-in or like slot machines or anything like that. And maybe there's legislation around that, but just no real tie to the city and the atmosphere. Like anywhere in Vegas, you're in Vegas, kind of except for like the concourse of T-Mobile Arena, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It just felt like once you like walked out of the tunnel or walked back through the tunnel, it just seemed like another stadium to me. Like it wasn't that special. But that was a good time. And then we left there after the Golden Knights got their asses kicked. We went and we just walked around the strip for a while, which was really fun. We were all kind of feeling it. One of our buddies was collecting all of the business cards he could. Mm-hmm. And
networking, if you will.
Networking, yep.
Stood by the Bellagio fountains. That's a must-do for me
awesome.
Every time I go to Vegas.
Yeah, that was awesome. The music, the lights, the water. Like then you realize it's just water. Like Josh at one point was just like, it's just water
and lights, but it seems like something more.
Yeah,
I don't. It's something about like Vegas.
It's too good for Vegas, is what it is. Like that little light show in front of the Bellagio seems too good for Vegas.
It balances out the debauchery, and it's just like part of the spectacle. Yeah. Like it in a way it's too good, but in a way it fits pretty seamlessly.
Because you're watching it and you're like, this is amazing. Like this is it's just awesome, and like you're leaning on the pillars to support, and you're like pushing beer cans out of the way as you do it.
Yeah.
So you have this amazing, beautiful thing that someone came up with, and meanwhile you're like sitting in a dumpster, like, and it's just like, quite the juxtaposition. Mm-hmm. There's a word for you, but no, that was pretty awesome. And then I think we ended up just going home after that. We got Taco Bell.
We hit the Taco Bell Cantina, which is what an establishment.
Yeah. I saw a lot of no outside alcohol or food signs everywhere.
They might have to put those up for legal reasons, because we were taking. I brought drinks from one place into the next.
I wasn't hiding any of it. Like it was just like
No, they don't. It's Vegas. You can drink, smoke anywhere.
Yeah, it's insane. And then so we went back. We were responsible. I think we were in bed at like 1.
Mm-hmm. Did we gamble when we got back? I don't even know if we did.
I don't think we did. We had gambled earlier that day. I was already down like $250.
Yeah, I was down.
At that point. But yeah, so that was fun. We had a fun first day. Rather low key. I mean, other than the fact that we were drinking for a lot of the day, but it didn't go.
I would say we were drinking, but we weren't drinking aggressively.
Right. And then the next day was we just had one of the best days I've had in a while. We woke up early. I was up at 8, and I remember I woke up to my alarm, and I was proud of myself because I was the first one up. Everyone else just rolled back over, and the room was dark. I was like, I want to take a little bit of advantage of this. And I got in the shower, shaved, like put on clothes, and I was about to go get coffee and everything. But I was ready for the day, and then at 8:30, I decided I'm opening up the curtains and waking these guys up. Mm-hmm. You and Josh had like an hour of work you needed to do, so we went down and got some coffee at Starbucks. Met just a creature of a man who started talking to us about whatever conspiracy theory he latched onto, like I think sustainability and how much of a joke that is. That was his go for the day. So we're like, all right, sir, nice to meet you. We're going to go back up. And then we went back up. You and Josh finished off your work. And then
we were watching the USC Michigan State game.
That's right.
I don't remember what happened, but I'm sure USC put on a good showing. And then
where did we go? Actually, I think.
No, we lost and we didn't look good. Boogie Ellis played
pretty
poorly.
End,
we didn't shoot well. It was
never
never that close. Whatever. Then we went to TopGolf. We thought it was gonna be really crowded. Didn't run into any issues. Walked straight into a bay. We're there for about 2 hours. And TopGolf is just what a fine establishment. TopGolf is
got it figured out, man.
A lot of fun. Yeah, they have it dialed.
Yeah,
like the combination.
Especially that one.
Yeah, I think that's the flagship TopGolf in Vegas. Like 4 stories or however big it is. They have a pool or multiple pools. Yeah, that was a good time. Drinking there a little bit. Had some breakfast. From there,
while hitting golf balls, and then on the other side of the range, they had like the 18.
Yeah, I remember I walked in. And, like, they have a bunch of TVs in the bay, but it was all on, like, the game and on the TopGolf, like, metrics to help you, like, visualize your golf shot. I was like, where are the TVs? Like, I kind of panicked. It's, like, it's Friday of March Madness. We need basketball. And then Jobs is like, look over there, mate. And you look down, like, on the other side of the range, and there's just, like, 4 massive, like, probably 60-foot tall TVs.
Can see 'em all.
Every game is on. I'm just like
the hotel room.
Why did I doubt Vegas?
yeah. No, there's no way that those were. It was just like, wow, this is incredible. Like because I had the same thing. I had the same moment where I was just like, I guess no basketball. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Right next to the shank I just hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did TopGolf. We headed.
Already felt like a day at that point. Already felt like a good day.
And it hadn't even gotten started.
Yeah.
And we went back to the hotel. I think at that point, Joe and you guys hit the casino. And
we went to the pool.
Oh, we went to the pool. That's right. We got kicked out of one hot tub, the only hot tub, because it was closed even though it was on, which doesn't make sense to me. And then the hot tub that was open wasn't heated, but hung out by the pool. It wasn't too warm outside, but still felt nice. Went back inside.
The water was warm.
Yeah. I didn't want to get wet. I actually didn't go in. Maybe I got some tan. Probably not. Then what did we do? Joe and I, so in the Lucq store where we stayed, there is a Titanic exhibit of like all these artifacts they've dug out from the wreck, and they give you a persona based on someone who was actually on the ship. You go through the whole exhibit, take photos. They have the Grand Staircase replica in there. Titanic is one of my favorite movies, so I was loving it. And I just appreciate like the tragedy and grandeur of that whole ship and story. Walked through the exhibit. I was a third-class passenger, and I was like, oh, there's no chance I live. I'm still at the bottom of the Atlantic. But I did survive, and Joe unfortunately passed away. I guess I was just more resourceful than him. Probably pushed some women and children out of the way to get on a lifeboat, but got to do what you got to do. But that was really cool. You guys hit the casino, I think, while we were in there.
We hung out in the room and played some music and watched some basketball, and then ended up walking down and gambling a little bit. Then smashing a Johnny Rockets burger like 5 minutes before you guys walked downstairs because we were pushing it on time. And then one of the highlights of the weekend, we got back, hopped in an Uber to
the Mirage
to watch Cirque du Soleil, the Beatles edition, and that was I think we were all just like stoked about that. Like first of all, we walked in again like no alcohol, no outside alcohol, no outside drinks. We walked in with a handle hanging out of Kyle's pocket.
Yeah, a handle of Fireball.
Everyone holding an open beer, and Jack like fumbling all the beers that were like in his pockets, and they were just like, yeah, I could hear your seats. Actually, we're upgrading you.
Yeah, the balcony's closed. Let us guide you down to wonderful seats.
Yeah, so we got upgraded for some weird reason, which was great.
Yeah.
And then they didn't play Let It Be.
Yeah, I mean,
other than
it was still
fantastic.
A wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful compilation of songs. I think all the other ones. I mean, the Beatles have such a big catalog that I'm sure they missed others.
For sure.
The Long and Winding Road, I don't believe they played, which is a
Yellow
personal favorite of mine.
Yellow Submarine.
But their production, that's not arrangement of the music of that show, I think has won a couple Grammys. And yeah, I mean, Vegas is the capital of the world of many things, but the Cirque du Soleil and that type of production and amazement and the acrobatics is second to none. So that was really cool to see. And I think we all walked out with just like our mouths completely wide open. Yeah. And I'd seen it before. I saw it in 2012 with my dad, but I didn't remember a ton of it. And I think that showing was better. So that was really, really a highlight. And we kept chugging right along. We went across the street to Harrah's to a dueling piano bar, which was another hell of a time. So just fun. The song requests, and it was an older crowd in there, but they were getting rowdy. Like my goodness, was the energy in that place really, really high, and they were taking song requests and like drunk guys jumping on the stage and just being idiots and pulling people out of the crowd.
Joe hitting on the two old ladies that were playing the piano.
Yeah.
The only twin dual pianists in the world, apparently, according to their website. Look it up after.
I mean, that's pretty niche.
Actually, female twin dueling pianist.
Over age 60.
Yeah. I think you added that in there. But, yeah. That was awesome. It was so funny. Josh and I were just like laughing at the whole situation, and then we look over and Joe is like yelling at one of them as they're playing, and she's like yelling back, and they're like laughing at each other, and it was just like, what the hell is going on here? But that was a blast. And then we walked from there to same building, right?
No, we were in Harrah's, and then we had to go back across Las Vegas Boulevard to to Caesars, which is where Omnia is. And Omnia is just an absolute jewel of an establishment. Other than their drink prices, which we can get to. Oh my God. That's probably the coolest club I've ever been to, just with the combination of the sound system and the crazy chandelier that lights up and moves and the lasers and the smoke and just...
And Millennium.
Yeah, the music, and we were there, we got in at 11:30 because we didn't want it to fill up too much, and we were having a good time, and then it's 1 a.m. and the opener's playing, and we're like, oh shit, Millennium's about to come on.
Literally at one point I was I looked at my phone and I was like, I hope it doesn't end soon because we're having such a good time. It's I hope it doesn't end. And then the guy was like, William Black, thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. And I was like, oh, right.
Yeah, that's not even why we're here.
Yeah, that was awesome. Walking in was, we had fun. We got in. Everyone was in a great mood. And I guess I turned my back for a second. And Joe had, being the good guy he is, watched someone drop his vodka Red Bull and just throw a temper tantrum, I guess, and he was just in a bad mood. And Joe, being the good guy he is, was just hey man, I'll buy you one, no worries. And I guess he suspected, like I would have, that a vodka Red Bull in an establishment like that would be $24 because that's typically what they run you at places like that. And Joe ordered 2 vodka Red Bulls, and he got the receipt back, and it was $130.
$148 actually.
$148.
He was standing next to me at the bar, and Joe, I'm sorry, but I'm so lucky that Joe ordered the drinks before me, because if I had ordered, I would have gotten stuck with that bill. I would have probably ordered multiple as well. And they don't tell you the price beforehand.
Of course they don't.
And I expected, my expectations were probably a little higher. I would have expected probably 30, 35 per drink. Had such a nice club, and they have a monopoly once you're inside the club, and everyone wants to get fucked up, and you go to Vegas, try money for a lot of people, you just expecting to blow through money. But I saw the receipt as Joe got past it, and I was like, wait, did you order anything else besides those 2? And he was like, no. $148. And then they pull out a flashlight and they point 3 different locations on the receipt to sign, or 2 to sign and 1 to initial. You have to sign a fucking contract to purchase these drinks to make them not feel maybe so they can justify to the government that you're signing your life away to buy 2 vodka Red Bulls
or something like that.
Yeah,
we almost lost Joe at that point.
Yeah, his vibes went down for a little bit.
I guess the guy, the second that they served them the vodka Red Bulls before they gave him the receipt. I guess the guy just like his way through the crowd to get out of there because I think he knew like, what was about to happen. Because
That's probably why he was so pissed in the first place. He just dropped $75
like
on the ground.
Yeah, it was 55, 75, whatever the hell dollars. And like, imagine like the two coming and Joe getting the receipt and being like, "Yeah, actually, I'm gonna keep it." Yeah, that would have been great.
What I would have done.
Oh yeah.
Josh and I asked the bartender later. We're like, "What is the cheapest thing you have?" And the guy was such an asshole. Like, we asked him what the cheapest thing he had, and he just like. It's like, I don't know, like $100. And he like wouldn't tell us, and then he just like moved on, and Josh like yelled at him, and the dude, I don't know, that like was the only thing that put a bad taste in my mouth, and we didn't end up getting any drinks. And
so you were asking because you were about to buy drinks, like
we would have bought whatever the cheapest thing was, whether it was I don't know a shot of tequila or something.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pay $75 for a drink, but I wanted to buy something.
Oh my! And he wouldn't tell you.
And he wouldn't say, so we said fuck off. And just went back into the pit. And I'm happy I didn't. I didn't need another drink at that point. I definitely didn't need to spend $70 for one.
Well, that guy, that sucks. That sucks on that guy's part. Like, what? Is it not reasonable for someone to not want to spend like they want a drink, they're willing to give you their money, but it's just
and like I mean I get that he's busy and there's a lot of people that want drinks, but like it takes 2 seconds to be like common courtesy. So. I don't know. Fuck that guy. But the rest of the time
if you work at Omnia and you don't tell people the prices of drinks and then you ambush them into buying $75 drinks.
Yeah, I thought that whole process was a little shady. Whatever. The Millennium show was insane. You played for 2 hours, 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. And we were still going hard when he finished. It had thinned out as far as the crowd, but we were still in there raging. A lot of dudes, but I mean that's what you got to expect. March Madness weekend in Vegas. I'm sure it was like 70-80% guys of all the out of towners. So that was a good time. And then banked 2 hours of sleep. Hit a Denny's on the way out of Vegas. Don't recommend that particular establishment for reasons I won't get into.
God, that was
But. Yeah.
Don't recommend Denny's anymore. That was painful.
Yeah.
To go through.
Yeah. But all in all, just an epic time.
And I'm happy we got back on a Saturday because then I had a few more days to recover before, I think we watched the Bama game. Jesse texted us, our roommate, was just like, yeah, I'm going to watch the Bama game. Are you guys going to be back by 6:40? And we were like, yeah, we'll make it back. I think around 7, I was laying right where you're sitting right now. And I was just like, nodding off. Mm-hmm. And I think I did that about like 3 or 4 times in a 2 or 3 minute period. And I looked at you and I looked at him and I was just like, hey guys, I'm going to go, I think, to sleep. I'm going to put the game on my room. But good night. You guys were like, good night. I walked in there and I got in bed. I pulled my laptop up. I opened it. I unlocked it. I got to CBSSports.com and I fell asleep before I could even hit play on the stream. And then I slept for 14 more hours, I think.
Oh.
So
I still haven't gotten a good night's sleep. I think tonight is going to be the night where I get like at least 8, hopefully 9.
You just do not need that much sleep to function. I don't get how you.
Yeah, I think I've gotten like 6.5 max the last like week.
Yeah, no. The best night's sleep I've had other than last night was I guess I had the 14-hour night. Never mind. But yeah, no, I need 8 hours. Like if I can function off 6.5, 7, but like ideally I'm getting 8. Like to wake up feeling like $1 million and like ready to take on the day, I need to like go to bed at like 10 or 10:30, wake up at like 6 or 6:30.
I don't wear Whoop, and no free ads, ads. I don't wear any of those devices. But there's some days where I wake up and I'd be like, what would my recovery be? Like, what would my recovery have been the night after Millennium? 0%?
Yeah.
2 hours of sleep?
You're worse off.
Yeah. -5? Yeah. Oh, and after Millennium, we hit the casino on the way back, and I actually ended up money, gambling-wise.
Oh, that's right. We did. Yeah. I lost another $100. And then we had the quote of the weekend, which was whenever Joe and I were, you went to bed and Joe and I were up, and we walked. I had like $90 in my MGM Grand account, and he had like something similar to that, and we just decided let's just cash this out, put it on red, and either like go back close to even or just like fuck it, we're done. We're not getting this money back. And we're like, all right. And we walked up to the book, and we asked this lady to cash it out, and she looked at us and was like, "What are you gonna do with it?" What? You're asking me now? Now you care? Like, you couldn't have asked me this on Thursday? Like,
such a weird comment.
We're gonna take it, we're gonna put it in between our bellies, and we're gonna rub our bellies together with it in between it. What's it to you? Yeah. Like, what? Why do you want to know? Why do you care?
Just a ridiculous question to ask in that setting, especially it's like, what, 5 a.m. at that point? 6 a.m.?
Does she know what her job is?
Yeah.
Her job is like to take as much money from us as she can, and we were about to give it to her, and she was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre. We weren't even mad. It was just bizarre that she would ask that. So then, yeah, we walked away laughing. What are you gonna do with it? I don't know. Yeah, that was an awesome trip overall. I guess it wouldn't be a sports podcast if we didn't say at least something about March Madness while we're.
Fairleigh Dickinson taking down Purdue. Purdue was really, really vulnerable. I didn't really like how that team was set up, and they were, I think, the smallest team in the tournament and potentially one of the smallest in all of D1 college basketball, and they're playing against the player of the year who's just like a 7'3" giant, and were pretty much able to just put multiple guys on him, shut him down, and Purdue, their other players missed all their shots. So that's a huge, huge upset. Princeton in the Sweet 16. That's a nice little run from them. And I saw this description for a guy who plays for Princeton. It's like, speaks fluent Mandarin, plays Spanish classical guitar, worked as a investment banker on Wall Street this past summer, and just gets buckets for the basketball team. Like, those Ivy League kids are next level.
They've been Marinovic'd their whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
Their dad has been making sure they were going to do that. FAU and Fairleigh Dickinson. So we got FAU moving on to play Tennessee. That's pretty cool. FAU's, I think they're 33-3 now, if you're including the tournament, which is pretty ridiculous. But I don't know how I like them against Tennessee. After I watched the Fairleigh Dickinson game with them, and they looked pretty. They should have beaten Fairleigh Dickinson by a lot more than they did. That game was way too close. Other than that, not too many surprises. I guess Kansas going down to Arkansas, but Arkansas is
good. That was a tough matchup for them.
UConn kicked Iona and St. Mary's ass. So UConn's looking good for my bracket.
I had Iona beating them, and then I had St. Mary's going to the Sweet 16. So that's too tough for me. San Diego State into the Sweet 16.
We want Bama, baby. When is that? That's 2 days from now. Okay, that's Friday night.
Yeah, dude, I don't feel too good about that for the Techs, but winning 2 games is nothing to hang your head at. So congrats to San Diego State.
It'd be the biggest win in program history. They've never been to the Elite Eight, I think.
I would love. Actually, well, I have Bama winning in all my brackets, so I would like that to be an upset by SDSU.
Two current students are like, I don't know, I picked Bama.
That's we'll get to it in a second, but I was definitely rooting for Japan last night in the World Baseball Classic.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just un-American.
It's exactly what it is. But let's see. Matchups for the Sweet 16. Well, are we going to do another episode this week? Or are we going to do just one this week and then...
Not this week, no. Go.
Okay.
Or pretend like we're not going to.
Okay. So I really like the UCLA-Gonzaga matchup. That's a rematch of the Final Four game from a few years ago when Jalen Suggs hit that crazy buzzer beater.
After UCLA hit the 3 to tie it up.
Yeah, that was... I was watching that in Montana in Big Sky with a huge group, and remember going crazy over that. Let's see. I'm just gonna make some predictions. UCLA. I think Tennessee beats Florida Atlantic. I like Arkansas over UConn.
Dude.
I've picked against UConn in every stage. They're gonna lose eventually.
You're gonna be wrong 5
I
times.
like
before.
Michigan State over Kansas State. I like Alabama. I like Miami over Houston.
Me too.
I like
Texas.
Creighton over Princeton and Texas over Xavier.
Yeah. I agree with Miami. I agree with Texas. I agree with Creighton. I don't want to, but I agree with Bama. So we have the same 4 up top. And then I think Tennessee, Kansas State, UCLA, UConn. So I think we're we picked two.
Did you say K-State or Michigan State?
K-State.
Okay.
Even though Tom Izzo, it is his month.
Yeah, January, February, Izzo, April. I mean, he's won 1 national championship. Like,
yeah,
I think 1, maybe 2. Should be some solid games. My bracket is very busted. It's always great to have. Oh, we didn't talk about Arizona, a popular pick for the champion, losing in the first round. That was a big upset. Great showing for the Pac-12. And
Princeton, man. I can't believe Princeton.
What other big stories did we have?
That's pretty much it. Pitt, well, yeah. I mean, I guess Pitt destroyed Iowa State, but that's not like a huge story. And
Virginia losing to Furman.
Not honestly, if you look at everyone that made it, not that crazy of a March Madness, other than the 16 seed.
I don't know, dude. We had a 16, we had a 15, we had a 14.
Yeah, but if you look at the Sweet 16, 2-3, 3-7, 4-8, 9-4. And then the top is 1-5, 3-2, 1-5.
6-15 that's spicy.
Yeah.
It's a spicy matchup.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I agreed, but the drama was good.
Yeah, it was great. But being in Vegas, we watched less basketball than we thought we would.
Yeah, that was surprising. I mean, I guess with all there is to do in Vegas, not that surprising, but also kind of surprising that it was significantly less basketball than we would have watched if we had just been here. Yeah. And I remember the
Jesse
days
said
of
that's
like
all he did.
being in the office on like that Thursday and Friday of the first round and purposefully not scheduling any calls.
And everyone else in the country's on the same page as you.
So, yeah, and I had 3 screens. I had like 2 monitors and then my laptop, and had a different game pulled up on each one, just like kicking back and watching basketball all day. Didn't do that very much. I spent some time in the sports books, but all in all, definitely a fun experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. Okay. Talked about Vegas and March Madness for half an hour, so let's just close with a few things. What we did before we went to Vegas, which was really cool, which we wanted to touch on. We had the chance to present to the EVP of the Golden State Warriors, Mike Kitts, Dom Lucq, who's the director of partnerships, and then Sean, who's the senior manager partnership insides. That was really awesome. They came in, they brought the trophy in. We got to take pictures with the trophy and everything, and then Jack and Josh presented on an idea that they had, and then Joe and I presented on an idea that we had, and then a few other of our classmates did the same thing. So that was really, really, really cool. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's just one of those opportunities that, I mean, I'm glad we took advantage of, and that why I wanted to be part of this program and do what we're doing, and something that doesn't come along very often, to present with the NBA championship trophy, 3 feet away from you, and presenting to one of the most like buttoned up groups of individuals, but also organizations that exist not only in sports but in all of the professional world. And I thought, what Mike said at the very beginning, one of his first remarks, was that there's not sports business, there's just good business, and some of that is in sports. And I thought that was really profound, and the idea that an organization is defined based on not the industry that it's in, but based on the type of business that it does, and then the industry that it's in, I thought was really interesting. And you can definitely see that with how those guys operate, both their appearance and how they go about interacting with people, and the care and the attention to detail, and then also how it plays out in terms of what they've been able to do on the court, and then from the business side too, with the development of Chase Center and the insane partnership roster that the Warriors have. So I thought that was really cool, and the ability to talk to them is something I'll definitely cherish.
Yeah, and it's I don't know about you, but for me it was refreshing to see that all three of them are alumni of the program, same program that we're in, and they are literally doing stuff that like we've dreamed about. Like, how cool would that be to be on, like, part of the Warriors, and just winning championships and being a part of that culture. It's just
yeah, and they were all rocking their rings.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, and they're also just like extremely successful in what they do, and like they'll admit to you as well that selling partnerships for a franchise and a brand like that is much easier now than it used to be. But that just means that the scale of the partnerships is larger, and they're dealing with more serious partners and companies. So they'll tell you that. But yeah, it was just a great experience to see what those guys have done since they were here in the program, and then to get some pretty cool feedback. I think you and Josh did an awesome job, and I think Joe and I also did a great job presenting to them, and to hear their feedback and to hear how much they appreciated our ideas was great. Yeah, those guys are good phone numbers to have in your Rolodex. So.
Yeah, and I think, there's one thing to be said for learning about these topics and studying it and reading about it in Sports Business Journal and the different publications, but to actually put it into practice in a setting like that where you're standing in front of, 40 people we had in that room, probably, maybe more, and presenting an idea on a partnership, doing exactly what we want to be doing in a professional setting, and getting that, hands-on, real-world type experience in front of a polished, knowledgeable audience. I think that was certainly one of the more valuable experiences that I've had in my academic and professional development career.
And three guys that, apart from the adjectives you used, are going to be transparent and honest as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if they liked us and they liked our presentations, but if they hadn't, like, I feel like we would have
heard about it. Yeah.
So, no, it was great. Those guys, it was awesome. Just an awesome experience overall. And yeah, I agree with you in what you said. You said it perfectly. Like, just what I was hoping to do, like, whenever I went to a sports business program. So
yeah.
All right. To close it out, why did you want Japan to win last night?
I'm a big Ohtani fan. I don't know. For me, it's obviously I'm American now. I usually root for America, but number one, we're the defending champions, and number two, I feel like it meant more to every single country in the World Baseball Classic than the United States. Maybe not like Great Britain or Canada, who don't have very strong baseball cultures, but like Japan, Korea, Puerto Rico, the DR, Venezuela, like you can see how much it means to the players and to the country. Like I saw some stats that
94.7
90-something% of households in Japan were watching their semifinal game
on
against Mexico. Yeah. Like that is ridiculous.
Oh no, and the U.S. game. It was like 94.7.
I haven't seen the figure for the final.
It was like 94.7. Like 19 out of 20 households.
Yeah, that kind of like national spirit and camaraderie is something that we don't really have in the United States. And
I think around baseball we don't really have it.
Around the Super Bowl, but that doesn't, there's no like international American football tournament. And maybe we crank it up once every 4 years for the World Cup, but I still don't think it's on the level that a lot of other countries have.
I think you just find it in different places. But, yeah.
I was happy for Japan, and I just like that team. I'm excited to see Yoshida playing for the Red Sox this year. Murakami, who had the walk-off hit against Mexico, two-time defending Japanese League MVP, will probably be, Nippon Professional Baseball, I think it's called. Will be in the MLB probably in the next 3 years or so.
That whole team could play.
Rookie Sasaki, who's pitched in the start of the semi and gave up that 3-run home run, but his fastball sits like 101, 102 with a 92 mile an hour split that just dives. They're a good team, and I told my dad on the phone before the game, like, I think we're probably going to lose tonight. The Japanese were, it was a great game, low scoring, good pitching duel, but I do want to give it up to Trey Turner, who had just a whale of a tournament. Basically kept us in it, had the winning hit in the quarters, I think, that go-ahead grand slam. At one point, he had homered in like 4 of 7 at-bats. Phillies fans are definitely have to be excited about how he's playing right now and what that means for this year.
I'm a Braves fan, and I'm not.
Yeah, that's too bad. But yeah, I mean, I think I saw online like a bunch of people were kind of shitting on it that it's meaningless games. But if you look at how all the players were reacting and how much they were putting into it, and what guys like Mike Trout have said about it being like the most meaningful games they've played in, I think that does all the justification that it needs to about like how people should feel about that tournament.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think watching the Japanese too, like that game yesterday, all of those guys could play over here, like in Major League Baseball. Like I think all of them should. That'd be awesome for them to come over. But there was not a single player like on that field that you thought like, oh, he can't hang. Like it was all of them could. So
yeah,
no, and yeah, I agree with you in that the nationalism when it comes to sport is probably more prominent, especially for something like baseball. I think it's the options that we have here. Like in Japan, you're not playing soccer. Like
they have a pretty good soccer team.
They have a decent team, but
like, they don't have football. They
baseball.
don't like golf isn't as big, although it's growing there. Basketball isn't big there.
They're like national pastime, and like it's the same thing if you look at a country like the DR or Cuba,
Venezuela.
Like they have soccer teams, but like they're baseball countries, and I feel like that's whereas here, like growing up, you can play pretty much whatever you want. Like we have it all here, so I think I agree that yeah, they just probably care more when it comes to that. I mean, and that's apparent with the fact that we don't have any pitchers playing. That all the pitchers are just like, nah, like supporting the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic just isn't one of my priorities.
Yeah, and I think Manfred came out and said today or yesterday that the priority for 2026, which is the next World Baseball Classic, is to get some American pitchers like that. I mean, we had okay pitchers, and my boy Kyle Freeland from the Rockies pitched pretty well in the final. But we got to get like Scherzer and DeGrom or whoever's at the top of the league. Yeah, they're not going to be around, at least at the level that they're at now.
They'll have to be Fried.
Fried, whoever, somebody that we don't really know about right now who emerges. But yeah, we got to get some better pitching depth to play. And I mean, that breeds the argument of should it be played after the season? I don't know, because I'm sure a lot of the pitchers and the teams they play for are trying to control innings right before the season and don't want to risk injuries and want to be protective of their arms. So should it be after the season when you don't have as much concern? But then that, like the flip side of that is, well, they've just pitched a full season. Do you really want them to crank it back up for high leverage games? And then what about the playoffs? So I don't know what the solution to that argument is, but I'd love to see more rounded. I mean, the American lineup was crazy.
Yeah,
but
stacked.
The pitching staff to be a little more buffed out.
I'd also like to see, like, can we not get a 3-game series, like at least for the championship?
Yeah,
like,
baseball. One single game elimination in baseball is just.
Yeah, we're just gonna get our aces out there, and like, I mean, like, that's fun, but like, I want to see a series. The whole sport is about series.
That being said, the Trout Ohtani matchup.
That's awesome.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, the top of the ninth inning, to decide the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have scripted that any better.
No,
and the look on Ohtani's face, like, I haven't seen that look out of him, or the expression when he got that double to lead off in their semifinal against Mexico to start the rally, and then when he struck Trout out. For someone who cares so much about winning and is so talented, but is stuck on a terrible Angels team, I'm happy for him to get to experience that. And I want that Ohtani Japan jersey so bad.
Did you see the part of my take tweet? Imagine if these two played on the same team. It's like
they're not that good.
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend, a really good friend who's actually in Argentina right now, but he's Argentine, but he's my friend from here, and he's a big Boca fan and a big Argentina soccer fan, and he was just talking about I was asking him, what if the U.S. did win the World Cup one time? And he was like, I would fucking hate it. He's like, they're the last country I would want to win. And he's American, he has an American citizenship and everything. And I'm like, why? He's just because we don't give a shit. He's like, look at all the teams that have won the World Cup and look at how much their fans and their country gives a shit about soccer. Yeah. We don't care here. He's like, it would ruin the sport if the U.S. won the World Cup.
And that's what I was saying about the World Baseball Classic is other countries care more. And I don't know what's happened to our country that we don't have that sense of collaborative nationalism. Yeah.
I think it's the options for sports specifically. I think it's the options that we have. That makes the most sense. It's not everyone plays basketball because we have to play basketball, or soccer.
Yeah. And I think there's some division in our country that probably plays into it as well, but I don't know. I was definitely happy to see Japan win. At the same time, I wanted, Trout deserves some sort of title eventually in his career, and I think he said he's already going to commit to playing in the next World Baseball Classic. So we'll see. But that was definitely good for baseball. And Manfred is probably just so stoked on how the last few games played out because he really couldn't have scripted it much better.
Yeah, and he hasn't done anything else much better.
Yeah, I still think he's a terrible commissioner, but... Yeah. He backed into some nice momentum. Yeah.
Thank God.
Maybe people can get off my back for a little bit now.
And I didn't fuck up in front of the whole world.
No, you still suck, Rob.
Yeah. All right, cool. Do you have anything else?
No. Just excited for some March Madness. For the Sweet 16 coming up. Hopefully can get some finality on the Aaron Rodgers fiasco and getting stoked for the NFL draft in about a month.
Cool. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys at some point in the next few days and enjoy the basketball until then. But other than that, you guys have a good one.
Peace.